So that's, pretty standard, actually. We've had that same format for our previous finals, and I imagine tomorrow will be no different.
I think you might be right there, Mr. Maynard.
Oh, thank you, Moonglade. Your acknowledgement means a lot to me. So,
I know. That's why I gave it.
Wow. It must be Is it December 25 already?
I'm afraid so.
Already Christmas? Oh my God. The gift that keeps on giving. So I think this is me and Pig, if the rotation's correct. I think so.
You guys I can't remember. I'll have to. I think it's you two.
It's me and Moonglade. All right. Andy, you just butted me up. Let's finish this tournament off, man.
Let's finish it off, Mr. Maynard.
That's right. It's going to be good. PVZ. And I got to say, coming into this, the elephant in the room, that is the fact that Probe's PVZ is pretty friggin' good, and I don't see him losing. But talk to me here. How does Iaguz win this one?
How does he win? He wins with
How
lurkers.
does he win?
He wins with a lot of lurkers. That's what I know Iaguz likes to do. That's all I'm going to give you. That's all I'm going to give you. I'm giving you nothing else. It's not helpful, I know, but
you know what?
I'm telling you right now, lurkers.
You know what? I'm with you on the lurker front. I think that chilling on tier 2 as a Zerg and making a lot of Hydra lurker is actually a really strong way to deal with Protoss, but Probe's just been getting that second robotics facility so early and pumping out those immortals.
Immortals. And, I mean, that is pretty common, I gotta say, but he does it well. So, it's going to be interesting. I'm very curious to see how Iaguz is going to approach this. So I really feel like it's up to Iaguz to spice things up and try and change it up and find a way to do that.
Well, with the banter aside, we are in the game and it is StarCraft time. In the bottom left from Legacy, this is Probe.
And up here in the top right, we do have the player from OSC. He is Zerg, is Iaguz.
16-bit, haven't actually seen that too much in this tournament. Everyone wants to play on Catalyst. They want to play Lost and Found. We've seen Dreamcatcher, obviously no Redshift, no surprises there. And I'd imagine that, we've been seeing a lot of Terrans, and Terrans are generally vetoing the hell out of Darkness Sanctuary, so you won't be seeing that too often. So it's cool to see 16-bit just change things up.
Yeah, is this like the first time we've seen it today? So I feel like I haven't seen this yet.
I think so. I think so. I think you might be right.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it already, It's spicing things up for the finals.
That's right. And you just reminded me that also you have to give a big shout out to the production team. GameStar have been doing a wonderful job making everything look really sexy here on Twitch TV/StarCraft, making us look as good as possible, which is sometimes quite difficult. We actually all started this stream wearing t-shirts and hoodies, and they were like, nah, mate, fix that up. Get a collared shirt on. Don't be a drongo for Twitch TV StarCraft. Fix things up. We had a lot of viewers today, which we did, so thank you very much for that. And also to, of course, to McDonald's and Blizzard, the guys that have been financing and supporting the scene and the tournament. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those guys, so infinite love and respect for both companies. Forever. If you're trying to decide what to do for dinner, the decision has been made for you.
Yeah, Mac is made. Get some nuggets.
That's right.
Get a quarter pounder.
Do it. Do both. Get all of them. So we're just going to unfold this PVZ before our very eyes. Obviously, with 16-bit, the biggest feature is that it has that pocket natural. But Zergs, just like most maps that have that pocket natural, are going to want to take the expansion at the front first, because they want to have creep spread as soon as possible, as close as possible to their opponent. And that's what this this sort of third location for the other two races, but natural location for the Zerg, is going to provide.
Absolutely. Creep spread it's what it's all about. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the fourth base he takes. You know what I'm saying? Get that third out there as well. Get the creep spreading in all directions. Then think about that pocket. Just because the fourth base is like usually the hardest one to take in the hold for Zerg in general.
Indeed. That pocket base of the Zerg's a free one later on, but of course it does have to be a little bit careful, as there is a Stargate open here for Probe as per usual. It's going to be opening without a depth scout and going into Stargate. What the big question in my brain is Probe going to go for the very, very scary sort of charge lot Archon drop with Storm, which is very, very predictable, and I no doubt that Iaguz plays against it all day, every day on career? Or is it going to be, I don't know what to call it other than Probe style, which is that sort of more old school Resident Evil Glaives Adept into just a couple oracles. He is getting that Phoenix out to bat away this Overlord.
Yep, definitely a good start. Getting rid of that Overlord patrolling the map, finding the rest of them. He does like his glaives. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that to start things off for Probe. Going into that double immortal later, and there's our first Oracle on the way as well.
Yeah, first Oracle out here. The Phoenix first. So sometimes the Protoss like to get Oracle first, then the Phoenix. And the Phoenix has got a lot of utility. Not only get rid of the Overlords, can also lift up the Queen and leave open those drone lines a little bit so the Oracle can just basically dance on the edge of that Spore Crawler. Speaking of Spore Crawlers, I guess blocked his own Spore Crawler there for a little bit. And then, you know, pick off those drones one at a time. He's got a second Stargate going down. All right, so Probe's going to go for that double Stargate Phoenix meta that's been hitting the ladder a lot recently, thanks to Zest.
Classic Zest. So what do we usually see with this Phoenix meta? Are we seeing like a lot of adepts, a lot of zealots with it?
I think it's usually zealots these days, but the mass Phoenix is really, really tough to deal with. It's usually a mineral line clearer, and there's usually too many Phoenixes where even if there's 3 or 4 Hydras and you think 3 or 4 Hydras with a Queen and Spore Crawler, sure they can deal with these polar Phoenixes. Nope. Phoenixes just lift them all up into the sky and they take them down one at a time. So it's very, very good at clearing through mineral lines. Yeah. This style is very, very powerful.
Well, I kind of like this too. It's always been, you know, like the classic, like an absolute ton of Phoenix. In just about any phase of StarCraft, it's always been an option for Protoss, and it's always something that can be so cost efficient when done right. It is a hard thing to kind of try and counter against because they have the option to fly in at any point and just start sacking everything, and they can take so much punishment as well from Spore Crawlers, so it doesn't slow them down.
No, indeed. And you see he's even got a +1 attack for these Phoenixes, so they're going to have a lot of damage output here. He's got those Adepts locking down things at that third base location with a shield battery as well, so Lings can't really wrap around that and get a cancel or anything like that. Even a shield battery going down is a super, super safe play here from Probe. And I guess that's a result of the fact that he's sending those Adepts out for a bit of a scout to see what's up. Now, Iaguz can do a couple things here. I've seen specifically I'm remembering Austin finals against Mana, Serral versus Mana, where Serral spotted this double Phoenix play, and he would just go across the map with a bunch of roaches and lings and flood them to death. That said, though, I think 16-bit's a little bit tougher, because 16-bit, you got a base at the back end that's safe against that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's just a bit bigger of a map in general. It's quite of a long distance to be trying to commit to some sort of a big attack. The Phoenix is going to spot it a mile away, and it's going to give Probe a lot of warning as to what is coming. Plus the fact that we're seeing some roaches being made, and now Iaguz knows for sure what's going on. Spires being made, spores are being made, damage is beginning to be taken. Go for some roaches.
I mean, why not? These Phoenixes have free reign in this main base. There's one of them's been left behind. I guess that one's on break. Maybe a little bit too low in hit points. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, no.
Start taking them out. Oh, that low hit point Phoenix is starting to take a bit of damage, but these Phoenixes are certainly catching Iaguz with his pants down. Wow. He did not seem ready at all for this. Lots of lift energy still available.
I'm a little surprised he brought his queens out like this. You know, this is like it was definitely never going to be a good thing. There's simply too many Phoenix to really warrant that. And we are seeing a Probe.
What is this Probe? What is this Probe doing?
He's just coming on in, man. He's like, I'm going to hide here in proxy pylon later.
Yeah. When this creep tumor is dealt with, and then the other creep tumor next to it, maybe I can drop a pylon. I'm sure I won't die to any Zerg units up until that point.
It's actually just sitting there. I love it.
You know what? If the Lings come and attack it, he can lift up that Probe into the sky and save it.
Hey, we're seeing carriers. We're seeing a carrier.
Yeah, certainly
I love this. I'm excited for this. I like the carrier play. It looks so hard to deal with these days. It's just such a powerful unit, and when they critical mass by with that, when they've had 10 plus in a mothership, things just get out of control. Add in some Storm. What can you do?
I mean, Storm is really where it gets scary, right? Like, if you just have carriers on their own, then a handful of Corruptors or Hydras, it looks like Corruptor's going to be the option here for Iaguz. They can deal with carriers on their own, but when carriers have got a bunch of Storm underneath them, then that's a different story.
It gets real. It gets real.
Yeah,
nasty.
it gets really, really real. So we have Graviton Catapult, I believe, coming out here as well. That might be actually Anion Pulse Crystals for Probe first. Kind of that Fleet Bacon.
Yeah, it's just constant harass with these Phoenix. Iaguz has done a good job of kind of mitigating the damage after those queens. And he's just really waiting for the corrupt account, I think. He starts to shoot them away for real. Really delaying the mining of that 4th base.
It's too many corruptors now for the Phoenixes to engage. Doesn't need that many corruptors to engage a Ball of Phoenix. But the carriers are certainly going to be a different story here. Hive heading up for Iaguz, so we can start heading towards getting Vipers and that sort of thing and start dealing with what he is expecting to be the next play here from Probe. I'm used to seeing a ground army with this sort of play, but Probe is just taking to the skies, going full sky toss here.
More and more damage going down, more overlords as well. He's finding all the damage he needs to.
And it was Anion Pulse Crystals, those purple laser beams.
Oh yes.
So that means he hasn't gotten Graviton Catapult yet for the carriers then, because that's very, very important upgrade on a Fleet Beacon. It's the other one you want.
Ooh, nearly even got a Corruptor for his troubles. Another Overlord goes down, just so much damage happening. Not too much damage, but you know, getting it where he needs it. And 11 Overlords on the way to make up for all the ones he just lost.
And it's getting rid of that Probe there. Probe just sort of seeing whether or not a hatch can be dropped in that location. I guess it's on 5 bases, so he has quite a good economy on 80 drones. He doesn't need drones anymore. It is going to go to that super ultra late phase. We can see that he's got a Greater Spire on the way. Hive is done. Got Burrow coming down as well for his roaches, I guess, like to help out Burrow, or even to save his queens and drones from flying around, from Phoenixes flying around. Burrow's pretty good in that regard. Oh, did he cancel it? I think he might have canceled it. Yeah, he did. Doesn't want it after all. Fair enough. Save that 100.
Why not? So what do you think Iaguz's ideal sort of army is going to be? Kind of carrier situation.
He's gonna not only want a decent army, he's gonna want a lot more creep spread. He's got quite a bit of it on the south and to the north, but the power, like the being able to deal with something like this, you kind of generally head towards infestors, and then you get a lot of spore crawlers, so that the carriers lose interceptors and things like phoenixes aren't too much of a problem anymore. Ooh, that's a lot of cannons here from Probe.
Wow. Yep, and there'll be carriers behind it as well as Void Rays. I don't think these Phoenix have actually identified where this army is on, but so Micro was a little surprised for Probe, but I don't know if it's going to be a problem.
No, I don't think so either. There are a lot of carriers here, and there's also Zealots on the front line. They don't have charge yet.
Oh man!
On their own with the plus with the plus flyer attack, they got +2 attack. Don't forget. And Graviton Catapult is done. Just 2.
Oh man!
I mean, Iaguz just taps out. He doesn't want none of that. Yeah. I mean, we didn't even really see a fight in that game. It was just like...
It was just Phoenix harass, death.
Yes.
There were the 2 steps to this game.
Yes. That was exactly what happened there. And I guess it's like, you know what? I've taken too much damage and I don't want to take a turn a game out of that. So
yeah, I can understand that. And I'm wondering if he actually realized that Probe was going carriers behind all this. I would think so, because he had so many corruptors. But you never know, because those corruptors could have just been for the Phoenix.
Yeah, like I said, I'm used to when you see that double Stargate Phoenix style, I'm used to seeing a ground army of some variety. And Roaches and Hydras going to do just fine against the ground army. They can tank a few storms, that sort of thing. But he definitely wasn't ready for those carriers when you bring it up. So perhaps you're right.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what happened. It was a nasty surprise. And well, what can I do? Alt F4.
Alt F4. Just log out of the game. Even though you got the rest of the series to play, just log out of the game.
That's the only way to do it, man.
Just close the game, forget game 2, shut down your computer, throw it out the window,
restart the computer, clear the cache.
Cancel your internet subscription. Clear the cache.
Clear the cache.
Open Chrome on incognito mode and use the incognito mode to cancel your internet account. Yeah.
Yep, I can imagine that happening. If that kind of game happens again.
That seems like a pretty reasonable reaction to SkyToss.
Like an Iaguz reaction, specifically.
Yeah.
I could be wrong with that.
You could be, I mean, we know Iaguz pretty well. He's not one to waste time on pleasantries. All right. And the bottom right here, representing Legacy ANZ, currently up 1 in this series. Well, actually 2, because he's had the 1 map advantage. Technically on match point right now. This is Legacy ANZ's Probe.
It's crazy, man. 1 game away from sealing the deal, winning today. And up here in the top left, his opponent down 2 maps. It is Iaguz from OFC.
All right, well, gonna be up to Iaguz here to try and close this out or come back in this map score. Otherwise, it's just going to be a probe clean sweep. And what did I say, Moonglade, after that probe Crimson series? What did I say?
You are correct, Maynard.
Thank you.
That
well,
is
I mean,
all.
it hasn't
that is
happened
all.
yet. We still have this game, so. But
I
just,
got a good feeling, man. Probe is looking
I'm
like
confident.
a beast, and he destroyed Iaguz game 1. It couldn't be
Yeah,
a
he's
cleaner
looking-
win. And yeah, he's looking like an absolute beast PvZ today. He's here to win. Sending
Absolutely.
a message for tomorrow.
Yeah, not unlike me, where I log in ladder with the literal intention to lose. He's joined this game to win.
You might be doing it wrong if that's your intention.
Yeah. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna make ghosts and hellions, and I hope I win. And then, it doesn't work out. Feels bad.
It's alright, man. It's alright. We'll get there. We'll all make it.
I believe in us. I guess going for hatch first here, hatch gas pool, so all pretty regular from him. Probe didn't get to do the hatchery block dance, so I guess he's got it nice and early. And Probe is just going for the standard wall. If he's expecting Stargate again from Probe, he doesn't really change it up in that regard, but it's sort of like, what does he want to do after that point? Is he going to go into, is he going to go for a second Stargate and go for Mass Phoenix again? Is he going to go for multiple Oracles and Adepts? Is he going to go for Archon drops? There's a lot of tools in Probe's toolbox.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no fault in going Stargate first every single game against this matchup because it is so safe. It'll scout anything that's coming, and it'll stop anything that's coming so long as you've made the right choice, Oracle or Phoenix or whatever. So I feel like, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's all there is to it.
It's a good saying. Probe checking out that third base here with the probe. Obviously, the Lings and the drone will have to shoot that thing away. He just reacts very, very quickly there. Keeping an eye on that mini-map as he drops his Stargate back at home. Iaguz sees all of this, though. He's got his first 2 Overlords heading across the map, sees exactly what tech he's up against. And that's kind of the best thing about Zerg in the early stages of ZVP, is that with your Overlords, they can't really be dealt with, so you're going to at least see what they open with.
That's the very least. The very least, you see that first tech building. The problem is that because there's always a Stargate for Probe, that you don't get too much.
Yeah. See if he goes Phoenix first or Oracle first here, get a good idea of what Probe's up to. Okay, exact same opening as the first game on 16-bit.
Hey man, why not do the same thing again? He
Why
wouldn't
not?
even he won't even expect it. It's like,
Just
okay,
wreck him with Phoenixes, make carries at home, and just wait for him to tap out? Yeah.
why not? Actually, I'd probably do the other sort of variant this time. Mass Phoenixes, and then just go into Storm, and then go Mass Immortal.
I'm one of those people where if I was actually good at the game, I can't do this because I'm not good at the game, but if I was actually good at the game, I would style on my opponent if I was on match point.
Wow. What are we talking, like Proxy Nexus? Recall your army on top of their base?
Oh, dude. Someone sent me a replay the other day of a 2-base mothership recall rush. Where you get a mothership out, you get a bunch of gateway units, and you bring a probe with your mothership as well. So, you bring a warp prism with your mothership, and then just warp in things underneath your mothership. It has cloak, and it just appears and kills everything. It's amazing. I'll show you, if you're interested. I'll show you the replay later. It's pretty amazing.
Please do. I'd love to see it.
All right, well, not double Stargate this time from Probe. It's going to drop that Twilight Council, so it's a bit more of a regular opening.
All right. I guess there's a little less room on this map to kind of play around with the idea of a carrier, early carrier, Mass Phoenix. Counterattack much more of a present option for Iaguz, and there's no pocket, natural as well, so it does kind of make sense.
They got that Phoenix and Oracle combination. Looking like they want to lift up a queen and get some of that drone line damage done. And this is Vintage Probe right here. Chrono boosting out that Resonating Glaives. He's going to go heavy Adept with multiple Oracles here in the later stages of the game. There it is. There's multiple Oracles with that Phoenix. Up you go, mate. Up you go, Queenie. No, not lifting it. Just going to engage it directly right over that Spore Crawler.
Hey, it's not a bad idea. That is the lair, so he's going to be a while before he gets it again.
Wow. Those oracles just dove on that queen. I'm used to seeing the Phoenix lift up the queen and just going for the drone line, but that's actually even better, killing the queen.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Definitely slows down the lava injects. And besides that, nothing too crazy else happening. No counterattacks or anything from Iaguz, and we are seeing a lot of adepts move across the map. They are going to have glaive upgrades soon. Do you see some roaches coming out to meet them? Got to be careful though.
Yeah, if your roaches are too far out, they can just shade past them and get onto those drone lines. Probe decides not to, though. It's a little bit bold of a maneuver. Probe is really a step ahead of what has happening right now. He's getting double robotics facility back at home, so going to be able to get into double immortal production. And that's the scariest thing at the moment for Zergs in the current meta of PvC.
Oh yes, mass immortals and Storm. The bane of all Zergs. We are seeing Hydras coming next for Iaguz, getting that +1 range as well. I wonder if we are going to be seeing Lurkers. And if we are, they're going to come out in time.
There's more and more gateways going down here. I kind of agree with you. I think Lurkers are going to be an excellent choice for Iaguz. Players like a Laser and Cyril and a bunch of the European Zergs actually love using Lurkers very heavily. And that is the Lurker Den going down here for Iaguz. All right, this guy likes to win StarCraft games. I like it.
I like that a lot. That's what I like to see. Templar Archives, Forge, everything to make the very scary death ball of Immortal, Storm, and whatnot for Probe. As expected. We saw this against Crimson as well earlier today.
Oh yeah, it's the bread and butter of Protoss PvZ. Like, that's the army composition you want to go for. Immortal, Charge Light Archon with Storm. Breaking off a hallucinated Phoenix here for a bit of scouting information. Sees that he's still on lair. Hasn't seen the Lurker Den just yet, but hello. Where is it? Has he dropped it at the third base?
Yeah, I think it was the third.
Yes,
Back of the third.
there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bingo. Probably expected.
This is something... Yeah, it's probably expected, and also something that he's kind of already heading towards being prepared for. Like, with a lot of Immortals, you can actually break through those Lurker lines not too badly. But you need a lot. Like, a lot.
A lot. Seeing nice
More
little
than you
scouts.
think necessary.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
Oh, Iaguz. He's
What?
so cool. He's
gonna
getting
drop?
5 Dropper Lords.
Oh my lord.
I think he's going to Lurker drop the main.
I think Lurkers or Lings. I'm seeing a lot of Lings being made right now. It's giving me
Yeah.
an impression that it's going to be.
You could
Ling
be right. Yeah,
Roach
Ling and
drop?
Roach. Ling and Roach, okay.
Maybe nothing. No drop. It's just fake. Fake drop.
Surely not fake. What does this fake drop give for Iaguz if he goes for a fake drop?
That's a good question, but we're seeing those overlords totally towards the Protoss base empty.
Maybe force a recall. No.
Maybe? I don't know. I guess maybe they're just waiting there until they actually have. He has like some extra links to throw on it or something.
Probe did see this, I think, with the edge of that Phoenix, but he hasn't reacted to it just yet. He's making Lurkers now. These overlords are like, I think I've missed a step in this build order. They head towards where I think Iaguz is morphing some Lurkers.
Okay, so he is going to bait it with it.
Yeah, he's debating.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice round, but nice storms as well. Everything else kind of catching up to the Lings, so all the Lings are gone by the time the Hydra get here, and a lot left over. Is there actually going to be enough? There's one Lurker here to help out. Now the rest.
Well, the drop in the main is a fake, and it did successfully pull a lot of Probe's units out of position. But I feel like the Lurker position of Iaguz isn't good enough to actually do anything, and he actually gets revelations and pushed back.
Not the best, not the ideal sort of engagement there. Just a little too hasty with the Lings, I feel, more than anything else. They were all evaporated by the time everyone else got there. Probably could have been a better position too, you know, looking at that fourth base down on the bottom left. Also an ideal candidate for an attack while the fake drop was happening.
With a high enough Lurker count and plus to attack, the Lurkers can actually shred this army to pieces. But they need to be in a good spot, and they need to kind of ambush Probe. So he kind of needs to go towards Hive, and he's doing that right now with the Infestation Pit going down. Oopsie daisies. One of those Lurkers getting shredded up by that Protoss army. And Probe decides he has enough to move forward here. I don't know about that. Easy, Tiger.
Don't get too crazy here. Nice revelation. Just keeping an eye on where this army is. It's going to be a very expensive engagement when Iaguz finally does do it, but he's maxed out, so the time is now. Just got to find a good place to attack. This might be it.
Ooh. That Storm's opening up a lot of those links, but the Lurker's the scariest part here, obviously.
Ooh, a little too far forward though. He's going to be committing that one.
Oh, man. Yeah. Iaguz losing a lot of hit points on those Lurkers, and the Immortals are just staying out of range of them and shredding apart any of the Lings and Hydras that come too close. Iaguz is going towards Hive, and he's trying desperately to slow down Probe here, but Probe's not stopping a beat. He hasn't shifted gears. It's just been all go, go, go.
Just been essentially absorbing this army every time he got a little close. And now Iaguz has to like remake these Lurkers, and now he's kind of against the clock. Probe is moving forwards, and he's not afraid to engage into this currently, because there's not enough Lurkers to keep him at bay.
There's a few more.
Yeah.
These Lurkers are going to be very important, and they have plus to attack, don't forget, so they're hitting very, very hard here. Hydras are high enough in count where he can actually start to join and engage. He's forcing a recall for Probe. Opportunity to pick up some of those Immortals. He gets two of them before they leave, and a third one's like, huh? Walks up the high ground, misses a recall.
Ooh, now he's in a position to do something here. Going to be able to claim the 5th base at the very least, and if Probe's not careful, Iaguz could even wrap around into the natural. Decides not to though, but I feel like that could have been a pretty sweet move.
Yeah, that's a really juicy point. That's a really nice position to be as a Zerg, like to get those Lurkers up right into the natural. And that's where the double robotics facility is as well. Like if you can pull Probe's attention way away from that position, that's a juicy, potentially game-ending position to put those Lurkers. I agree with you there.
Line up your Lurkers between the 3rd and the natural, have Hydras covering them, and go to town on the natural and main base. Man, that's a checkmate, in my opinion.
Yeah, line them up. Mama's coming. She's been made in the main base right now with +3 as well. And that's going to get scary for her. I guess he does have adaptive talents and +3 attack on the way, all the most important upgrades to be getting with Hive. And also canceling this base was quite nice for Iaguz, slow down Probe a little bit. That one attack, that one time where he forced that recall, was the one moment he managed to slow down Probe.
Yep. And now, nice little position here with a lot of Lurkers. Storm kind of forcing back a lot of these Hydras, a lot of damage going down, and a great sort of arc of Immortals just beating up a lot of those Lurkers. I'm surprised we're not seeing more of a snipe on the Observers as well, by the way.
Well, it's a little bit tough. Like there is still just that one observer floating around for Probe, giving him that information. Probe hasn't actually remade the oracles plural from earlier, so he doesn't have that super safe ability to tag and run away. Iaguz is actually getting a lot more Hydras here, and I think that's what he needs to do. He needs to get a lot more Hydras. That was the that was the weakest part for these Lurkers, is they don't have that meat shield.
Yeah.
These Immortals are still high enough to crush through them on their own if they don't have to have a ball of Hydras to deal with.
Yep, you gotta have those Ling Hydra to kind of take the hits as well, or it does get a little bit ugly. And it's all about the things as well. Nice cleanup.
Very nice. The warp in harassment here, Probe completely ineffective. Might get this hatchery over here though. And recall is still on cooldown, so I don't think he can pull back off creep very easily just yet. Iaguz is going around the outside for a big counterattack.
Oh, I like this a lot. He's got a lot of options here. And it doesn't look like Probe's going to be trying to counterattack anytime soon. He's going to be on home to try and defend that. I think that 4th base is gone if he gets there in time.
+3 attack and adaptive talents done. These Lurkers are hitting hard. They're extremely scary. And Probe's trying to come up a ramp here. Mama is here, but the Overseers are here as well for detection. Big Storms, a little bit of indecisiveness in those Hydras. They take a lot of damage. He picks off a couple of the Observers.
Ooh, very nicely done there. Only, there's quite a few Immortals left over, and the Lurkers are just not enough together that are going to be cleaned up once again.
There's no detection.
Oh, no detection there.
Yeah, the Observer that he picked off was the only one in this army. Probe did make an extra couple Observers, but now he's just realized, oh god, I got to make some more. A couple more Observers coming out now.
Luckily, there's not enough really of a position for them to do more damage, though, so these Lurkers will in time be destroyed. As this is all happening, though, Iaguz remaxing, making a lot more Lurkers, doing the same sort of army composition, and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
There's not really much Storm left over. We're only seeing, we see 5 Templar. Far less than there was.
Multiple Stargates going down here for Probe. Are about time to head into Carrier Tech. It's about that time. Could even go for Tempest as well. Although I think the Carriers are a little bit more solid. They just have a little bit more DPS. Tempests are like like one way that some Protosses like deal with lurkers, but I feel like without Oracles tagging and that sort of thing, that it's not really a effective unit choice. I like Carriers a lot more.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Seeing much more of the same here. And Probe forced to turn around once again. Iaguz just keeping the aggression up, keeping Probe over his side of the map.
The Zealots actually took a lot of damage there. Adaptive Talons makes these things burst so quickly.
Oh man. Not to mention Zealots in the third base as well. They're going to be doing a lot of work. They might even be able to get the Lurker down, which would do a lot of work, and the fifth base. So very nice counterattacks from Probe. This is actually going to get him pretty far ahead. Look how many drones have gone down.
Yeah. This is really nice of Probe. Iaguz leaving his drone lines way open. Probe's in there. He's mincing apart his infrastructure. Meanwhile, Iaguz has a lot of army supply, and he's going to make something happen with it. If Iaguz doesn't do any counter damage to Probe, then this game very likely will end soon in the Protoss' favor. Oh, God!
Cleanup time. Cleanup crew is here, man. Mothership still above. We got some Archons in the mix to help out with these links. Actually, a lot of Archons. 5 to be exact. And I think this should be enough. Oh, maybe not. More and more Hydras coming from north.
Yeah, reinforcement of Hydras here from Iaguz is going to continue to keep the dream alive here. The Archons are starting to thin out, and the charge lots, if he pulls back to these Lurker lines, should be able to get taken out by those +3 attack spines as well. Mama's getting real low. She's taking a lot of damage. Another Archon dies. Iaguz pressing the issue here. Probe was trying to tech into the next level, but he's got to stop. He can't make any carriers. He needs to make ground units, and that's what he's doing right now. Getting more and more High Templar out, trying to make more and more Archons, because Iaguz is done with that base, and he's coming for the third.
Wow. All right, this is looking very dangerous. Iaguz keeping the momentum.
The Observer, gets it.
One left, and he's not targeting him. Oh, he does now, though. Oh,
that's it, and now the Lurkers cannot be detected, and Iaguz gets the win with his army supply advantage. GG.
We got ourselves a series.
Woo.
Lurkers, my friend.
All right.
Did I not tell you? Did I not say Lurkers and nothing else?
You said it, man. I wish you were making my calls for GSL semifinal results. You would be...
Those were the days, man. Those were the days.
Yeah, right? Damn. Congrats to Iaguz. And keeping the dream alive. A Probe is still on match point, but Iaguz, of course, getting another shot at it. It'd be pretty interesting to see which map will be for the next one.
Yes, that'll most definitely be
Acid Plant.
Acid Plant.
Acid Plant. All right. Saw Probe completely dismantle previous Zergs in this map. We'll see if he can do it again.
Looking to clean things up. Just sitting on that match point. Probably wants to take a break, you know. The big tournament is tomorrow. It's the one for all the cards, man. It's the one that's going to get you to the lovely Valencia and all that money. So they don't want to burn out today.
Definitely not. It has been a long day of games. We've been live for like 7.5 hours. It's been a hot minute. Yeah,
not long enough, in my opinion, mate.
Extend the finals, make it a best of 69. But the day tomorrow, you're absolutely right, is for all the cards, for all the money, and for those spots. Top 8 start getting paid. It's 400 and something odd dollars, all the way from top 8 to the grand prize, which I think is 2,044 USD. I think. And of course, all expenses.
Sweet little pack of money. Yeah, you know, that's some nice expensive to go, all paid, essentially. You're paying for a nice little holiday in Valencia.
2 and a bit thousand US, and I think you get more money just for showing up, just to get into that open stages. That's a lot of paella and sangria.
Oh, man. And not to mention the WCS points as well, which is always important.
Always. So even if you don't get enough to make it to BlizzCon, a lot of tournaments actually use WS points for seeding as well. So it's a good thing to have. Definitely.
No doubt about that. We're starting the game.
Well, we're going to get into this one, waiting on Probe to kick on through. Once again, sending love to McDonald's for supporting this tournament. Very, very good to have them on board once again. They're a lot of the reason why we had lands in the first place last season. which to me specifically was a huge deal because it felt like those old ACL days. Like having all the Australian fans and all players that you see, some a bunch of TA guys that you haven't seen in years would show up.
Just
yeah,
it's a lovely social gathering, man. Something that we've always loved here in Australia. You know, it's been such a great experience for all players to come down and chill out.
It wasn't until like I am Sydney and those lands last year where we had like several years breaks between the last ACLs where I just really it got hammered into my mind and I remembered how passionate the local Australian StarCraft scene is. Like it's not the biggest game in Australia, but damn, do the fan base love it. Oh. It is so good.
Oh, it's great, man. Just great seeing all those people again.
It's a real feels good man moment. Speaking of feels good man, it's up left here on Match Point from Legacy Esports. The scariest Protoss in Australia. This is Probe.
And down here in the bottom right, in the blue, winning last game, representing OSC, it is Iaguz.
The Guzzler. All right, now let's see if Iaguz can tie this one up. One more win, and we're going to an ace match.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Pressure's on. We are seeing pretty much standard openings from both players. Nothing out of the ordinary here, as expected. Very similar sort of sized map as last map, so if that counts for anything. Yep.
It's Acid Plant's got a lot of counterattack paths, and it's got some winky wonky places in the middle of the map where there's a lot of high grounds and dips. You know how Cloud Kingdom was kind of one of those maps that had valleys, then high grounds, then valleys on the way to your opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Catalyst, like you can take the high ground all the way to your opponent, whereas as Acid Plant, if you want to take the high ground all the way to your opponent, it is a long walk. It's a big zigzag, so you kind of have to go through those valleys and troughs. Which means that there's a lot of ambush locations and a lot of spots to catch your opponent. And there's a fair few choke points, which is, it's good for counterattacks for Zerg, but it's also good for Protoss where they want to stand and fight in those choke points and splash damage the crap out of some Zerg units. That's my analysis. I'm done.
I love it. I agree with every single thing you said. That's why I didn't have to say anything.
Did you even agree with the part where I said that Moonglade wasn't handsome? Did you remember that part?
I did have an issue with that, but I was going to save it for after the cast because I'm professional.
All right, so you confirmed that you weren't paying attention because I never said that. Why would I ever say that?
I was paying a lot of attention, and I do take issue with that. Thank you very much.
You take issue with the fact that I even brought it up as a hypothetical.
How dare you?
How dare I?
I even think that for 1 second is what I want to know.
I would never. We got the shaded adept in here confirming that there's a third base for Iaguz. It's a pretty quick third, but not something that's never been seen before.
Nothing out of the ordinary. So yeah, we are seeing that Stargate once again. Probably going to be a Phoenix. Am I going to see a Phoenix right now? Yes, I'm going to. Another little shade in, just keeping the Zerglings on their tippy toes.
Yeah, well, we are going to see what Probe does here. Of course, you guys that are tuning in, jumping in from the GSL, or maybe tuning in from Team Liquid, a lot of Europeans starting to wake going up, a lot of America going to bed, but Europe should be midday-ish, so that's like nerd morning. We
on a Saturday for sure.
We have ourselves an open bracket today, and then tomorrow is the one that decides. So it's sort of like a qualifier for a qualifier is what we're looking at right now. And the top 14 go through to tomorrow, with Seether and NXZ making up the other two for a top 16. But it is this is the open bracket to decide who plays in the final qualifier tomorrow. If you're wondering, so no one really makes any money today. But they get seeding, which is why we play it the whole way through.
Yeah, and seeding is pretty essential in these kind of situations. You really want a good start to the day as well, and try and avoid the toughest players until later.
Yeah.
So you get more of an idea of what you're going to do, and just in general, no one wants to bow out first round, so seeding always important.
Luckily, it is double elim, so you have that second shot. It's not like best of 5 single elim. Which has been pretty popular for a lot of WCSs these days. Where if you lose that that best of 5, it's over. So if you get a tough opponent, rip.
Yeah, never a fan of the single elim, but sometimes time constraints make sense.
Single elim as a spectator is exciting. As a player, it's it's sort of like, oh, I had someone really strong and I lost, and now my tournament's over. It feels bad. But
now
as
I'm
a
in Valencia for.
But yeah, that's right. Poor thing. But as a spectator, it's really exciting for like the series to be it, like to decide who wins.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's for all the cards, which is the drama, which is what everyone wants to see, right?
Yep, exactly. This queen pulled down to attack these oracles is actually potentially going to die here. All those oracles are staying around a little bit too long.
Well, I guess the third one, and he can get out with. I guess certainly doesn't like it. I guess that's worth it.
He's pretty unhappy about losing 3 queens to those 2 oracles. That's definitely the truth.
That's definitely not ideal.
It's less than ideal for sure. Probe is coming in with a bunch of adepts. He's not going for a resonating glaives attack. He's actually just attacking with a bunch of adepts to pressure, giving basically Iaguz his wish. He says, "Kill me now," and Probe's like, "Well, you have less queens, and maybe I can do it." But that's a lot of hydras.
Yeah, Hydra's gonna make this a little bit harder. Ooh, nearly losing all of them.
Wow, that's actually really good. That's really good for Iaguz.
Yeah, that is quite huge. Well, we're seeing 1 robo so far. Are we going to see that second one? No, we already had the second one. Yep.
It's halfway done.
My goodness. So same as before.
Triggered.
Ooh.
Hashtag triggered.
Hashtag triggered. Cheeky wings.
Yeah, trying for a run by, but Probe's locked it down. He's a little bit too good for that. It doesn't let him in the main base or the natural. And the third's already got a shield battery at it.
Early Lurkaden, by the way.
Already
on the way.
Glade? You know what, Glade? That is really early. He doesn't even have He doesn't even have Hydra speed or anything like that. He hasn't got Groove Spines. He's just finishing up now. He's getting a Lurkaden? Madness.
No more pleasantries with Iaguz, man. Straight to business. He knows what he needs.
Oh. He's Dungeon ranks. He's ready to lurk at this guy to death. And you know what? I don't blame him. That's right.
He's ready to French fry this guy.
Definitely. I'll dip this guy in sweet and sour and bite his head off. Well, we got +1 attack also coming down for those lings, which would, if he goes down the Baneling path, it's going to help out a lot as well. But I think that when you have lurkers, hydras, and lings, you're kind of good on splash damage. You don't need to put that gas into Banelings.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I guess it really depends how heavy the zealots are. How zealot heavy he is, perhaps, or adept heavy as well. Just, if you really want to invest in that, but yeah, I don't see the necessity to waste gas and something like that when you can just make more lurkers.
This one Oracle waiting for a revelation here. I don't think it has enough energy for it. It does, just now. Completely out of juice now, though. Tags those hydras, but that's not the army.
No, that's not the army. It's some of the army. We are seeing zealots lying in wait for whenever the Zerg army does move out.
Lurkaden's down here.
We're just preparing right now. Very.
You know what it's called, Glade? It's called posturing.
Posture. Ooh, I like that word.
Yeah, it's nice. You can use it for any cast that you like. It's free.
You sure?
No, my free man. It's mates rates.
Oh, you're a good person.
Well, the lurker count's starting to get up there. The Ling and Hydra count getting up there. Iaguz getting a pretty huge army, Moonglade. He hasn't made drones in a while here.
Oop. It's like those zealots postured for long enough, my friend, and now they are dead. And
going to hell with the rest of those zealots.
Is that where they end up?
Every single one. Well, you know what? I think this time Iaguz actually might literally go for the lurker drop. He's got the Dropper Lords morphing here. He's making more and more lurkers. They're actually ready this time.
I think it's a pretty good idea, to be honest. Considering the lack of air there is, we do see the army split up for Probe as well. So Iaguz's going to be looking for a way in. Going to be actually trying up the ramp here, but there's a lot of storm.
That's some rough weather.
Oh, man.
Lurkers take a little bit of damage. A couple of them die. Is this another bait?
He loves his fake drops.
I don't know. It might still be real. Yeah.
One.
Yeah. One lurker. That's not a huge committal. Actually, Rogue, one of the best players, if not the best player for Zerg in the whole world, loves to actually break off a lurker or two and just walk them into mineral lines. Like, just shift-click them into bases and burrow them.
Yeah?
And it's really, really effective sometimes as well. It's a very cool stylistic thing that he does.
It's a pretty
Iaguz
cheap,
coming on in here.
Hold that thought. Popping a lot of storms once again, but those lurkers are in pretty prime position.
Oh!
Man. Oh, kill that.